I was a single dad barely keeping my head above water, working as an assistant to the coldest, most demanding CEO I'd ever met. Then one Tuesday evening, she called me into her office with tears streaming down her face and said 5 words that changed everything: "Pretend to be my husband." I stood there frozen, watching this woman who never showed emotion completely fall apart. She explained that her grandfather was dying, and his final wish was to see her happily married before he passed. She had 1 year, maybe less. And she was willing to pay me enough money to secure my daughter's entire future. All I had to do was lie. Before we go any further, I need you to do me a favor. If you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, please hit that subscribe button and join our Kindness World family. Leave a like if this story touches your heart, and drop a comment telling me about a time someone's kindness changed your life. Your support helps us share these stories with people who need hope. Now, let me tell you what happened next. My name is David, and 3 years ago my wife left us. Just packed her bags one morning and decided motherhood wasn't for her. My daughter Emma was only 5 years old. I was working 2 jobs trying to make rent when I landed the assistant position at Sterling Technologies. The pay was decent, but my boss, Victoria Sterling, had a reputation for chewing up employees and spitting them out. She was brilliant, ruthless, and according to office gossip, completely heartless. That night in her office, I saw a different person. She told me about her grandfather, the man who raised her after her parents died. He built the company from nothing, taught her everything she knew. Stage 4 cancer. 6 months, the doctors said, maybe a year if they were lucky. And his one dying wish was to know she wouldn't be alone. Years ago, she'd lied to him about having a boyfriend, then a fiancé, creating this elaborate story because she was too proud to admit she'd chosen career over everything else. Now that lie was crushing her. I should have said no. It was crazy, unethical, a disaster waiting to happen. But then she named a number that would pay off my debts, cover Emma's college fund, and give us the stability we desperately needed. And something in her eyes, that raw vulnerability, reminded me that underneath the Ice Queen exterior was just a scared woman watching the only family she had slip away. "So we're sharing a bed?" I asked, because her grandfather would expect us to live together. She nodded. "Separate rooms in the house, but when he visits or we visit him, yes." "Can you do this?" I thought about Emma, about the overdue medical bills, about the future I couldn't give her on my salary. "Yes," I said. "I can do this." The first month was awkward beyond belief. Victoria's penthouse had plenty of space, but living with your boss is strange enough without adding a fake marriage into the mix. Emma loved it though. She had her own room 3 times the size of our old apartment, and Victoria had it decorated like a princess castle before we even moved in. That was the first crack in the ice. Victoria didn't know how to talk to kids. She'd buy Emma expensive gifts and look confused when my daughter wanted to play instead. But she tried. I'd find her reading parenting books at midnight. She learned to braid hair by watching YouTube videos. She showed up to Emma's school play and cheered louder than anyone, then got embarrassed when I pointed it out. Meeting her grandfather changed something in me. Thomas Sterling was everything Victoria wasn't: warm, gentle, quick to laugh. He held my hand with tears in his eyes and thanked me for making his granddaughter happy. The guilt nearly killed me. But then I'd see Victoria with him, how she softened, how she laughed at his terrible jokes, and I understood why she was doing this. Love makes us do impossible things. The thing about pretending to be married is that you start acting like partners. She'd ask about my day and actually listen. I'd make her tea the way she liked it without thinking. We developed routines, inside jokes, a rhythm. Emma started calling her Miss Vicky and then just Vicky. I'd catch Victoria looking at us during dinner with this expression I couldn't quite read. 6 months in, Thomas had a bad episode. We rushed to the hospital and spent 3 days thinking we'd lose him. Victoria didn't leave his side. She held his hand and told him stories about our fake life, our fake wedding, our fake happiness. And I realized with terrifying clarity that somewhere along the way, my feelings had become real. That night, back at the penthouse, she broke down again. But this time when I held her, it felt different. Natural. Right. I don't know how to do this, she whispered. I don't know how to be the person he thinks I am. You already are, I told her. With Emma. With me. You just don't see it yet. She pulled back and looked at me like I'd said something in a foreign language. David, when this year is up, the contract says. I know what it says. My heart was pounding. But maybe we could renegotiate. Thomas lived for 11 more months. 11 months of family dinners and Sunday visits and watching Victoria transform into someone who laughed freely and let people in. He died peacefully, believing his granddaughter had found her happy ending. At the funeral, she held my hand so tight I thought my bones might break. After the will was read and everything was settled, we sat in that same office where it all began. The year is up, she said quietly. You fulfilled the contract. What if I don't want to? I asked. Emma was at school. It was just us. What if I want this to be real? She stood up and walked to the window, her back to me. You deserve someone who knows how to love properly. I'm still learning. I crossed the room and turned her around. Then let's learn together. You've been my family for a year. Let's make it forever. She kissed me then, and it felt like coming home. That was 2 years ago. We got married for real last spring, small ceremony, just close friends and Emma as flower girl. I still work at Sterling Technologies, though now as COO instead of assistant. Victoria still drives everyone crazy with her perfectionism, but she comes home and helps with homework and tucks Emma in at night. Sometimes kindness means taking a chance on someone. Sometimes it means looking past the walls people build to see the scared, lonely person inside. My boss asked me to pretend to be her husband, and I found my family. All because we both chose kindness when we could have chosen otherwise. If this story moved you, go out and be kind to someone today. You never know whose life you might change.